Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So, if you're a homeowner, you've probably found yourself daydreaming about your next house, right? Maybe you need some more space for a growing family, or, maybe you want to downsize now that the kids have moved out, or maybe you just want a change of scenery. But then reality hits. You look at your bank account, you scroll through those 3 dozen Save Zillow listings, and you slam right into the ultimate real estate catch-22. You need the money that's securely tied up in your current house to actually afford the new one. It is a stressful, frustrating position that traps so many people in homes they've completely outgrown, honestly, just paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong financial move. But what if I told you there's actually a structured, entirely manageable way through this whole maze? Okay, let's dive into this. How do you actually buy your dream home when you still need to sell your current one? It kind of feels like you need to be in two places at once, right? Like you need to magically hold two massive mortgages for a month just to pull the whole thing off. Well, the answer lies in a specific real estate strategy that is, frankly, incredibly misunderstood. We're going to unpack the nuts and bolts of this process today, relying on some absolutely fantastic insights from real estate professional Carlos Avalos to show you exactly how this is done in the real world without losing your mind or your savings. Section 1. The Contingent Home Buyer. Navigating the Real Estate Catch-22. Let's establish the absolute foundation of what we're talking about today. A contingent buyer is basically someone whose submitted offer on a new property depends entirely on successfully selling their current home first. So what this means is you go to a seller, you make an offer on their beautiful house, but you've got a string attached. You're essentially saying, hey, I will buy your house and I really love your house, but only if my own house sells. From the very beginning, your purchase is completely conditional on your own successful sale. You're linking two separate massive transactions into one continuous chain. And this brilliantly illustrates the primary hurdle you face when you take this route. Think of it like a giant boxing match for the seller's attention. In one corner, you've got the contingent buyer, that's you, needing to sell first to fund the purchase. You're bringing a condition to the table. And in the other corner, you have the non-contingent buyer. This is someone wielding all cash or someone who already has their financing perfectly lined up with absolutely zero strings attached. As Avalos points out, while being a contingent buyer can absolutely work, in a highly competitive market, sellers naturally gravitate toward non-contingent buyers. I mean, sellers love certainty, right? When you bring a contingency to the table, you're introducing a variable of risk for the seller, which puts you at a competitive disadvantage. But hey, don't let that discourage you. There is a highly strategic way to overcome this disadvantage and level the playing field. Section 2, Improving Your Offer Chances. 3 Steps to Success. Let's walk step by step through Avalos' specific, actionable game plan to make your contingent offer infinitely more attractive to a skeptical seller. Step 1, you've got to price your home correctly so it sells quickly. If a seller is waiting on your house to sell, they want to know it's priced to move, not sitting on the market gathering dust just because it's overpriced by $50,000. You need momentum. Step 2, get pre-approved with a direct lender and fully explore your financing options. This is huge. You want to hand the seller a silver platter of certainty, showing them that the absolute only hurdle is the sale of your home. You want them to know the bank is ready, the financing is rock solid, and there'll be no surprises whatsoever. And step 3, work with an experienced agent who knows how to navigate this precise logistical dance. This really isn't the time to hire your cousin who just got their license last week, you know? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Carlos Avalos acknowledges right up front that buying and selling simultaneously can be tricky. He doesn't sugarcoat the complexity, and neither should we, but his main takeaway is incredibly reassuring. An experienced professional, someone who has successfully managed these exact intertwined transactions many times in the past, will help you tremendously. You aren't just hiring someone to unlock doors and show you nice kitchens, you're hiring a high-level project manager for one of the biggest financial maneuvers of your life. They coordinate the timelines, the lenders, the other agents, and basically keep the whole delicate house of cards from collapsing. Which brings us to the logistics that usually cause buyers the most sleepless nights. Section 3, the concurrent escrow process, moving back to back. So let's walk through the logistical magic that prevents you from becoming homeless between houses. Starting at day 1, you list your house and you secure a buyer. By day 15, with that buyer firmly locked in, you get your contingent offer accepted on your dream home. Now here is where the timeline gets really interesting. At day 30, both escrows run concurrently. That means the paperwork, the inspections, and the appraisals for both the home you're selling and the home you're buying are happening at the exact same time. Fast forward to day 45. The sale of your current home closes first, officially freeing up your funds. And then, seamlessly on day 46, your new home purchase closes immediately following. You literally move from one house to the other, back to back. No temporary short-term rentals, no putting all your stuff in storage, no moving twice. It's a completely synchronized handoff. Let's move on and see how this builds into our next section. Section 4, your built-in protections, the safety net. The next logical question is, well, what if it all goes wrong? What if the buyer for your house suddenly backs out at the last minute? So the crucial point is this reassurance right here. Your submitted offer on the new house is only valid if you successfully close escrow on your current home. That is a massive safety net. The absolute biggest fear people have is that their buyer drops out, but they're somehow still legally on the hook to buy the new house, leaving them completely stuck trying to pay 2 mortgages at the same time. This legally binding contingency completely eliminates that risk. If the worst-case scenario happens and the sale of your house falls through, your protections automatically kick in. First off, your offer on the new home is immediately and automatically voided. You are fully protected from the very start. And why is that? Because that contingent term was safely baked right into your initial offer. The seller of the new home agreed to those specific terms from day one. There's no legal battle, there are no shady penalties. You simply walk away, relist your home, and start the process over without facing financial ruin or the absolute nightmare of dual mortgage payments. The contingency is literally your financial shield, allowing you to punch above your weight class in the housing market without exposing yourself to catastrophic risk. And that's exactly why experts like Carlos Avalos and his colleague Rose strongly recommend taking a highly strategic, personalized approach. Their advice to any prospective buyer is pretty simple. Let's sit down and create a game plan for you. Because let's be real, every single housing market is different, every individual house is different, and every family's financial situation is entirely unique. You really shouldn't just wing a contingent purchase or rely on generic internet advice. You need a personalized strategy from a professional who deeply understands how to leverage these specific timelines and legal protections to your absolute advantage. A solid game plan is exactly what separates a stressful disaster from a smooth transition. So, we've demystified the catch-22. We've looked at the competitive challenges, the 3 actionable steps to drastically improve your odds, the seamless, synchronized timeline of concurrent escrow, and those amazing built-in legal safety nets that protect your wallet. Knowing all of this, here's the real question. If the fear of being stranded was the only thing keeping you in a house you've completely outgrown, what opportunities are you missing out on right now? Being a contingent buyer doesn't have to be a roadblock. With the right structure and the right team, it's really just a stepping stone to your next dream home. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this gives you the absolute confidence to take that next big step in your real estate journey.